if one side was all on the up and up and the other side was all wrong, well, the side that burst into the locker room had at least one talent relations executive, 3 executive vice presidents, and the number 2 in command and head of the legal department, and there's still an investigation going on. Well, it seems like with all of those dignitaries in the company, you'd get the straight story, wouldn't you, from them, except if all of those dignitaries were on the fucking side that caused the problem. That's why there's an investigation going on, because there's more to the story than what that group is giving out. You would think it'd be cut and dried there. Okay, here's the lawyer. Here's a representative of talent relations. Here's 3 executive vice presidents. Oh, you mean we still don't know the true story of what went on in there? Golly. As a talent relations and or creative booking team, whatever, member, I've had to witness a couple of things before just in case there was a lawsuit or whatever. And I'll tell you, remember when the skyscrapers, Spivey and Sid, when they beat that job guy up in Texas for not selling for him?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah, I saw him, and Teddy Long gave me the eye roll, like, we're going. They were headed for the guy's locker room. So I'm in the back. I'm going to try to see what happens. I know what's going to happen, but I may need to testify later on. And Spivey's in front, as you'd figure, because Sid looked great, but he ain't going to fight unless, there's some advantage. Spivey goes in there. The guy stands up. Spivey fucking punched him and dropped him and slapped him 2 or 3 times. And then, of course, Sid's so big, I'm trying to look over Sid. And I think he may have kicked him while he was down there as he was cussing him, say, you got a fucking problem? You don't want to sell? Fuck you. And then I think they spit on him and walked out. And then as the representative of the booking committee, because the guy deserved every single goddamn thing that happened to him, I then told somebody else in the locker room, I said, you better get his bags packed and get him the fuck out of here unless they decide to come back because they didn't think they got the point across. That's what happens when somebody has done something and somebody else busts in a fucking locker room. Shit takes place. If you don't want shit to take place, don't bust in the locker room.
Also,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, too, again, I'm thinking about the history of AEW, and like you and I have said and alluded to many times, we've been very well aware of the way things are going on. When Cody had problems with the Elite, you could pick whose side you want to take, right? When FTR are having problems with the Elite, and then Punk's having problems with the Elite, at what point do you realize it's the same people over and over who have a problem with anyone who's not doing their thing?
I think it's pretty obvious already. But it all boils down to what Tony Khan is willing to put up with and or whether he wants to take control of his fucking wrestling promotion. And the easiest thing to do right now would be say, okay, I don't have any more executive vice presidents. We're going to go back and start fresh, and I'm going to try to find or hire or promote from within some experienced veteran wrestling personnel to run talent relations and the booking department. And hopefully I can talk Jim Ross into helping me sit down with all the talent and determining who else is going to blow up in the near future and commit aggravated mayhem and find out how to assuage their feelings. And then I will be the promoter that makes the decisions and authorizes the expenditures and tries to regain my positive standing with the fans out there in the audience. And all these other people are going to run this fucking thing and see if we can get a coherent television show, a goddamn talent roster that doesn't look like it's mix and match day at the fucking buffet, and it's a cohesive, coherent team all pulling the same rope and going in the same direction and featuring a palatable mix of wrestling styles instead of everything all over the goddamn page like that fucking idiot Olivier wants. and get my employees under control and start trying to build for a potential contract renegotiation with our rights fees that may or may not be as easy as we thought it was going to be 2 weeks ago, because the network's hearing about all this shit too. And even if they didn't hear about the beef at the press conference and afterwards, then they would have heard about it when Tony said, well, we don't have CM Punk. Well, we don't have, well, I guess the network wouldn't care if they don't have the Bucks or Omega because they don't do any ratings. But we don't have CM Punk. Why not? Well, my executive vice presidents bum rushed him in his fucking locker room because they were pissed off of what he said at the media scrum.
What did he say at the media scrum that caused that?
Well, he said that the EVPs couldn't manage a fucking target and that he was sick and tired of having to deal with children.
Who were spreading stories about him in the press.
Yeah. So that's what the network would hear. What the fuck? That's all I'm going to say is I've been saying the same thing for the past 3.5 years. You can't do something at this level when you have everybody in charge with literally no experience at doing any of these things before and not willing to listen to people who have. This is what you get.
Yeah, everything right now is, I think, being done to placate the network because that's their biggest fear. They are terrified right now about the fucking network.
Well, and how does the network know that somebody isn't going to go into business for themselves in the ring and get in a fight and something happen and legal and blah, 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 and they'll be called in to testify or to give their thoughts on the situation under oath or blah, blah, blah. How do they know that now? It's a shit show.
It's a complete shit show. And look, it's Tony's fault. At the end of the day, this is all Tony's fault. Adam Page too, but it's all Tony's fault. Yeah. But I also feel really bad for Tony because he's in a rough position right now.
Yeah.
He's
tried, except for being oblivious to advice. He has tried his best, and I'm sure he has worked his fingers to the bone. I see the bony fingers. So yeah, you got to feel bad for him, but he should have known because we told him what was going to happen. I'm sure anybody that didn't want a job and didn't care for taking him for any money has told him, well, goddamn, that would be me, I guess. That's the sum total of those people that fit that description, but would have told him what was going to happen.